make a star out of Fletcher, or do we let the star of Will Ospreay keep going? Like, if you give it to Fletcher, maybe he can go into singles titles, not the main titles, but TBS, not TBS, TNT, and international or continental. Yeah, there we go, getting there. Osprey puts him in a potential lead for the main title. You know, he's going there, but do you get that from going through Carl Fletcher? Yes, it's another notch and puts him on another level. I feel like I want Fletcher to win this. Instinctively, I think it should be Will, but I'm actually going to go against the grain. I'm going to say Carl Fletcher. I don't know why. It's probably going to cost me, but I'm going to go with Carl Fletcher. I think the idea of the cage should make everyone think it's not going to be him. Look, if Will wins, I'm happy. If I lose, I lose. But yeah, Carl Fletcher. Don't know why I've said it. I'm sticking with it.
Not filming this in my usual surrounding because reasons. It's my birthday. I'm a little bit tipsy and I'm taking things nice and chill. So yeah, I'm downstairs in my living room today. I apologise. I'm going to keep this all very short and sweet for my part tonight. Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher. I think Ospreay has done a smashing job putting Kyle Fletcher over for the course of their rivalry. That does come to an end now. Steel cage means that the Don Callis family can't get involved, which means this is going to be definitive. And it's definitively going to be Will Ospreay going over here. I've got no doubt about that in my mind. I don't see any benefit of Kyle Fletcher going over here. He is now established as a megastar. He's a big-time player in AEW. Kyle Fletcher has joined the elite ranks of AEW. Big star now. Will Ospreay has done the job for him in this rivalry. But we need to be reminded that Will Ospreay is the Billy Goat. Will Ospreay wins.
They put Will in a cage. I'm going to go with Will Ospreay. Simple fact, I ain't never going to bet against that guy. I want to know what he's going to do. Please don't hurt yourself. No need to do double somersault backflip off the top of the cage and land it perfectly and it just looks amazing because an amazing wrestler, but still. Yeah, I'm going to pick Will Ospreay to take this. I actually want to see this match. I'm going to watch this match. I'll come back to y'all and make you know if I watch it, let you know what I think of the match. That's it. Yeah. Will Ospreay I'm picking well.
So I believe this is the rubber match for Carl Fletcher and Will Ospreay. And I don't know really where to go with this one because on one hand, you could give it to Carl Fletcher because Will Ospreay can afford a loss and it won't pretty much affect him. Whereas if Carl Fletcher lose, my worry is that he might get lost in the shuffle somewhere. Although you could say he is one of the two most successful members of the Don Callis family, I think it's due he gets his flowers somewhere else now. The rivalry with Will Ospreay is pretty much done here. I think this is going to be like the blowout match. And then after that, maybe he can look at his interests elsewhere, like maybe a title run, because let's face it, he is due a singles run with any title. You've got the TNT Championship, you've got the International Championship, and as a matter of fact, I've just had a thought. What if Will Ospreay wins, Kenny Omega wins the International Championship, so then in order to get revenge for Shinsuke, for Konosuke, so in order to get revenge for Konosuke, and to get to Will Ospreay, he can then go after his best friend in Kenny and then take the International Championship from him. And I think that would be a good slow build, actually. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead. Might be a bit of wishful booking, but it also makes sense as well. Perfect sense. So for this one, I'm going to say Will Ospreay for the win, although we're going to get a very sour Kyle Fletcher afterwards. But Will Ospreay, the GOAT, the Billy Goat, for the win.
You know, this one is an interesting one because we're still on a mission to make Kyle Fletcher look good. And to the most part, he has been. Like, all the matches he's been having on Dynamite and Collision, like, you know, he's looked like a real star. But at the same time, you don't want to diminish the star power that is Will Ospreay. Both of them are one apiece right now. So who do you make win? I'm gonna go with Will because I feel at this point like Kyle, yeah, he's the proto star, but he's still the star that's up and coming. I feel that they're currently pushing Will, getting him ready to make his star rise all to the way to the top. And if Cope fails, Christian Cashin or whatever, I feel the aftermath of all of that is gonna be Will Ospreay getting over there finally, like he says. Therefore, you can't really diminish him by making him lose at this point. So I'm gonna go Will Ospreay for the win.
Hurt Syndicate versus the Outrunners. Love seeing the Outrunners on a pay-per-view. They ain't taking the belts off the Hurt Syndicate yet. You must be joking. I do want to see the gold on the Outrunners at one point, though. That time is not now. Hurt Syndicate to win.
I'm pick my boys, the Hurt Syndicate. Like, what a unit. You know what I'm saying? It's not even the new nation. It's like Black Evolution. Yeah, just needs one more player in the group. Is it? Yeah, it's a three. They need one more player in the group. Yeah, and then it becomes they need their they need their owing up. Enough is enough and time for a change. Let it be MJF. Don't. That was a game. That was a joke. But yeah, I'm going with Hurt Syndicate to win this one. Just because.
Now, another match that lately got added on AEW Dynamite was the AEW World Tag Team Championship match between the reigning champions, the Hurt Syndicate, and the Outrunners. So again, this is like a filler match. I don't really think there's much to deliberate here. There might be something happen after the match happens, but I don't really think this is going to last too long. There might be some comedic close moments, or there's just going to be showboating at the wrong time and then they're just going to get their A double crooked letter handed to them. But again, not much to deliberate here. You know who's walking out with those AEW World Tag Team titles. And ladies and gentlemen, they hurt people. So still, your AEW World Tag Team Champions, it's the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin.
So, Hurt Syndicate versus Outrunners. It's interesting how popular Outrunners seem to have become in a short amount of time. Like, they're definitely sort of in a position where FTR was not too long ago. Now, why it would be a good idea to propel them to the Tag Team Championship. Right about now, they've been dominated and held by one of the most dominant teams in all of wrestling, Hurt Syndicate. And you can't really derail that anytime soon, man. Hurt Syndicate's been on a tear. I see no reason why that shouldn't continue. And continue for a while. So hence Hurt Syndicate for the win.
They hurt people. Guys back in the other company, they were the first t-shirt I bought from that company because that's how deep I am with these guys. With all due respect to the Outbackers, Outrunners, whoever they are. Hurt Syndicate for the win. Sorry guys, it's as simple as that. Hurt Syndicate for the win.
If you've seen the other prediction, I've been saying there's one match I'm not using my heart. Because my heart says never vote for Monet. Because I'm not a big fan. I love when they're in WWE, WWE going up against Bailey. What a heel. What a wonderful heel. And you had that heat that I love to boo you. But you had that great... Old school people will know this thing called Xbox Heat. We need to change the name from Xbox Heat for the new generation. Mercedes Monet Heat, because... Come on. Yeah. I'm not going to pick you. Even though... I'm going to pick you, actually. I want to pick Mercedes Monet to win. Even though I don't want to. And I bet this is the one time now I should end up losing. Anyway, Monet to win.
Now, you'll have to forgive me for this one because I don't have much knowledge of Moto Watanabe. I'm sure she's an incredible wrestler, but I don't have much knowledge on her. I know she's big in Kingdom. I know she's big in New Japan. But again, I think this is just probably going to be a filler match. Yes, she could be a threat. Yes, I could be going in blind with this one. But Mercedes Moné has been going on too much of an incredible run to have then lose the belt to someone who's, it might just be me, but I don't know if she's greatly known, around the world sort of thing. She may have a lot of followers in Japan. She may even have a lot of followers in the US. And even the UK, I would dare say. Again, I don't know. I don't have much history on her. So I think, again, it's also going to probably be a filler match as well. Even though a title's on the line, I think it's still going to be 4 belts, Monet. There's nothing even really much to contemplate here. So without any much deliberation or so forth, I'm going to say still your TBS Women's Champion, Mercedes Moné.
So, the thing that strikes me about this match, and is a bit like upset, is a lot of people aren't really going to know who Mono Watanabe is. Like, a lot of people are going to have watched her like get that win on I think it was Wrestle Dynasty. Yeah, like I did watch both Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty, and I thought they were excellent matches. But I know not everyone is gonna like be able to make that connection that she won the tournament and now she can challenge Mercedes Moné for the title. I know like AEW have mentioned it like 100 times, but how much that actually is gonna matter to people, I don't know. And for that reason, I just don't think that this is the person who's gonna like finally do it, gonna finally dethrone 4 belts Money. No, nah. I feel she's gonna have a great showing, great outcase, and a great coming out party for her. But ultimately, like Mercedes retains her title. Mercedes for the win.
So the belt collector will continue to be the belt collector. Look, she's advertised for the UK shows, Rev Pro and stuff like that, and I think it's going to be one of those times when Mercedes Moné's on this huge tour. It was going to be with all the belts. I'm not saying she's stopping off in just the UK, but to lose to Momo Watanabe here probably will not give it the effect that we're looking for, will it? So, still your multi-time champion, and yeah, possibly onto Tony Storm with all these belts, trying to collect more. Mercedes Moné, CEO.
The only real doubt I have in my head about this is that Mercedes has been holding many belts for quite a while now. So it is going to become a question of when, not if. And I do wonder if we're at that stage yet. And I also do wonder if that when lies in Momo Watanabe. I don't know enough about her, being brutally honest. I'm not going to front and be like, oh yeah, I've seen a load of her matches. I haven't. I don't know her. Much to my chagrin, I'm sure, and I'm hoping that she gives me a reason to be like, oh damn, I need to check this girl out. Always love finding new wrestlers to appreciate. But, speaking purely from my point of view, because I don't know her, I don't know if she's a big enough star, I might be saying something absolutely sacrilegious at the moment, and if I am, I plead ignorance. But yeah, I think Mercedes retains here, and I think Momo maybe gets a good showing. Equally, just on the basis that I don't know Momo Watanabe, there's every hope that Mercedes drops one of her many belts here, and then Momo brings that belt elsewhere. But pretty sure this one's for the TBS belt. And if it was for a different belt, maybe. But for the TBS belt, I don't think so. So I am going to go with Mercedes for this one.
I think for me, this is like one of the hardest matches to call on this whole PLE event. Again, like Carl Fletcher and Will Ospreay, this could go both ways as well. MJF could win, and then he could just go around gloating even more. And then Hangman goes around with a chip on his shoulder still. Or Hangman could win, and then he goes on, and then MJF has got more of a chip on his shoulder. And to be honest with you, as great as Hangman Adam Page is with this character that he's portraying now, the wild man. Like, you know, you don't know what he's gonna do, if he's gonna go left, if he's gonna go right, if he's gonna go straight through you. It has been interesting, but I think it's pretty much solidified now. And then to just have that little rub from MJF could make him go on to a title match as well, because obviously that's what Christopher Daniels wants for him, and I think that's what he wants himself. So again, it's another case of who would be more probable, who would be more favorable for the win. And I think in order to really get under MJF's skin, I think MJF has to steal it here. Although it would be very good if Hangman Adam Page won. And for me, that would be a point worth losing, to be fair, because he is due another win now, and probably a title run. There's so many people due for title runs. It's crazy. That's 3 for title runs now. But nonetheless, I think by nefarious means, MJF is going to take this one. On paper, really and truly, Hangman Adam Page should whoop his A double crooked letter. But unfortunately, MJF is too much on a dastardly run right now. And I don't think it would do him any credibility if he lost. Whereas, well, no, actually, you know what? I'm not even going to say that. Because like I said, any one of the two could lose. And both of them can go in a madness. But in terms of the prediction, in terms of whether this is going to be worth a point or not, I'm gonna... Oh, this is really hard, actually. Again, like I said, this is the hardest match to call on the whole bill, but I'm going to go with MJF purely because I just think he's just going to do something even more dastardly to get the win.
Now, this one is actually quite difficult because both guys are on a sort of a similar trajectory, and they're on a similar sort of level in the card as well. Both former world champions, both a major part of the show. Both, you know, some of the best parts of the show, if we're being honest here. But both of them are trying to get back into that, you know, ultimately top main event place. Yeah, so who do you make lose? Who goes up? Who goes down? Does it affect either of them if they take that L? I would say it would probably affect Max more. Because again, like after the whole debacle with the whole devil thing, we're still trying to like rebuild Max to be like the ultimate threat that he's supposed to be. And Hangman, he's someone who's just a threat no matter what. You can take an L. He has done before. To be honest, his run right now is his greatest run, and that came off the back of him taking the L to Swerve. So I feel you can take an L here and keep going. So I'm gonna go MJF for the win.
MJF versus Adam Hangman Page. I'm sure this probably happened for a title at one point, but this is all to do with cowboy shit, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm talking Jeff Jarrett more than Hangman. So as much as Hangman could possibly take the victory, it nullifies the Jarrett MJF feud unless Jarrett interferes and gets one up. But that could incense him. But I'm guessing it's going to be victory after victory. So MJF for the win on this one? Yeah, MJF for the win.
This one's a trickier one to call because you do have to believe that this isn't going to be a one-time thing. This isn't going to be a... you have a feeling that there's going to be a 3-parter here. There's going to be a rubber match involved with this. Now, it really depends off the back of this what I believe is going to be a set of 3 matches between these two, and it's going to be great. It depends who they want to push back into the main event picture for a while. I don't think either of these guys are going to be the ones to dethrone Moxley, but I do think one of these guys will have a title match against Moxley. If I had to assume that, I don't think it would be MJF, because I believe next time this is long form booking I'm doing here. I believe the next time MJF goes for a world title, I actually think he's going to win it. And I don't think it's going to be him to take on, I don't think he's going to be the one to dethrone Moxley. He's going to dethrone someone else. So I believe Hangman Page is going to be the long-term winner of this rivalry. but that means he can't start with the win. So for that very long-winded explanation of where I see this going, I hope it made sense. I think this is going to be the first of 3 matches, and MJF is going to win this one through, to quote my man Big Tone, some form of nefarious means, and then Hangman's going to get him back for this. So yeah, MJF to win this.
MJF and Hangman Adam Page. I know I shouldn't say their name because everyone's saying the name, but I still don't see the vibe for Hangman. He's just a hardcore guy that's in a time when hardcore matches are not around as much. It's when it is around, it's crazy. Like I've seen syringes, I've seen human blood getting consumed. Yeah, it's a bit mad, but it's not one of those. It's just a singles match, and MJF, you got to give it up for MJF because he's like one of the, yeah, was it Pinnacle? Nah, he's one of the main guys on the roster right now. Even not right now, just overall, all the time. So going with MJF to take this one, only because I haven't seen I don't know the big deal with Hangman. And yeah, as I said, heart for this one, apart from that one match.
I've said this in the past, but I when I thought like Timeless Tony Storm was gonna retain her title at All In, yeah, I feel like she's got a big match coming, like inevitably, and that's against Mercedes Moné. That is probably the biggest women's match that AEW has at the moment, and yeah, titles are gonna need to be on the line for that. So I reckon, although Mariah May's run might have been cut short in certain people's eyes, I feel she did enough to solidify herself as, a viable contender down the line. But she's not going to win here because, again, I think it's time for that AEW happy ending. And you can only do that by having Tony secure her victory. And then somewhere down the line, might not be like for the next couple of months or so, I feel like we're leading up to that whole big showdown of Tony versus Moné. So Tony Storm to retain her title.
The Glamour had a very, very good time as champion. This is a perfect story, and this is going to be a Hollywood ending. And with that, the Hollywood starlet has to win. The timeless one, Tony Storm, for the victory. Look, I'm not going to make these stuff long, guys, where I don't have to. It's been a good run, but I think Tony recapturing the title, it's for her to go forward. I don't know who she's got next. Mind you, I don't even know who Mariah would have next. It feels like Mercedes is the only way, right? But we'll see. There's a strong division out there. Maybe bring Athena onto AEW. Let's see what happens there. But yeah, timeless Tony Storm for the win.
Probably the hardest one to call, because I don't know if they're going to start hot potatoing the title. I'm also curious as to why we're already putting Mariah May back in the main title picture. It's a bit of a lose-lose situation, because if Mariah May loses here again, she drops way down the card and out of contention, you'd have to think, for the foreseeable future. And if you do hot potato it, you're going to have Tony Storm and this fantastic character coming back already to lose, like in her first major pay-per-view title defense, doesn't seem right. Unless there's an injury that's been picked up or something which would justify it, I can't see why you would do this. So I guess which is the lesser of these two evils? I mean, the lesser of the evils is keeping the belt on Tony Storm at Mariah May's expense. So I'm going to say timeless Tony Storm to win.
Every time she's in a match, I vote for her. Don't know, win, lose, or draw. I will always vote for the timeless one. Because, don't mess with someone that's black and white. So, yeah, I'm going with timeless Tony Storm to take this one. Should be a good match, but, yeah, you can't bet against the timeless one. Keeping it short, keeping it sweet. Moving on.
My question in this match is, are we going to have a back and forth, a hot potato, if you will, with the AEW Women's World Championship? Mariah May did hold it for quite a long time. She had a nice little run with it, but I'm trying to think, where would it go if Mariah May were to win the title back? Now, I wouldn't have any complaints. I think she works as a great heel and a champion at that. But at the same time, Toni Storm has just got the women's world title back, and then not to mention, what run is she going to have this time? Obviously, we still have the timeless Toni Storm, and obviously it was a great role she played as the old G, or the OG Toni Storm, the Australian grunge rocker Toni Storm. But then obviously she fooled everyone, including Mariah May, and came back as timeless Toni Storm. But I think this is like the second era, or the second reinvention of timeless Toni Storm. Even her theme has changed, and it's got little tweaks in it as well. I don't think you're going to do all of that for her to lose a title. But again, it could be a hard match to call, because both women are worthy of walking out with that Women's World Championship, but without too much deliberation. I could be wrong, but for me, I think it makes much sense if the winner is still your AEW Women's World Champion, and that's timeless Toni Storm.
Takeshita Omega. The last time Takeshita came out on top, was it Omega coming out on top? I can't remember. I know the All In, the tag, Takeshita came out on top. I can't remember if they had a match after that or Kenny was out. Either way, I'm going with Takeshita to win, to hold. Another one who talked about the touring with titles. I have a feeling he's going to turn up in the UK with that title. I don't know. They said they're going to tour the world. Obviously in Canada, possibly Japan. We want to see you in the UK, Takeshita. But yeah, Takeshita to retain.
Well, this isn't just going to be match of the night unless Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher pull something out their backside, which can happen. I have a feeling this is match of the night, and, this is part of Omega's match of the year factory. Him and Takeshita, I don't think, are capable of putting on a bad match. Certainly not independent. Likely not independently, certainly not with each other. Like, these two have got such good in-ring chemistry. And there's a long-form story here, We've had Takeshita being the only guy who's beaten Omega twice in a period of 6 days on 2 separate pay-per-views. So that now has to come full circle. Omega does have to overcome... Factually, this is in, the modern Omega run, this is his biggest obstacle, because this is the one guy who seems to have constantly had his number. Don't underestimate how big this rivalry is and how important it is for Omega to overcome Takeshita here. I have liked Takeshita holding gold. I would have liked to have seen them do more with it, but I do think now that Omega's back, it's time to strap him with gold again. So yeah, Omega's going to win this one, and it's going to be an absolute banger.
Kenny Omega versus the one I should stop saying, was it? Take shit I know I'm juvenile, I'm a little kid, but the Don Callis people, Kenny Omega, oh man. This is hard because I'm a big fan of Kenny, but shouldn't be holding the belt right now. You know what? Screw it. I'm going for Kenny. Kenny's taking the title. Yeah. Kenny gonna win. I'm saying it now, and I hope it's right. I can't afford to lose. They're so close to the end, and I'm just hanging on there. Anyway, Kenny Omega to win.
Again, this is a very, very hard match to call because it could go either way. But I'm going to stick to my story that I said in my last prediction because it just makes sense. And for that to happen, Konosuke Takeshita has to lose the title. He could keep it. I mean, he's held it well and he's defended it well and he's taken it to Japan and defended it there too. Even won a championship over there. But I think Kenny Omega's just come back. I don't think it's it's going to look good on him if he has his first PLE and loses, or his second PLE. But singles, you know, he was in a tag team with Will Ospreay, so I would say that this is his first PLE as a singles competitor, and I just don't see it again making sense if he loses. Where does he go from there? I mean, you could build a story. It could be a slow build, and that's the thing with slow builds. It could go either way. But in order for my, whatever you call it, dream booking or my story or my vision to come true, I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to say your new AEW International Champion, it's going to be the Omega, Kenny Omega. And then, obviously, Kyle Fletcher, he's going to come out of nowhere and obviously get under his skin, get a title match, win the title off of him, and then you'll probably have Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay again over the International Championship. I think if they were to have another fight in terms of Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, it's got to be over a title. They've done the singles thing, they've done the rivalry thing, they've done the bitterness, you know, former friends and all that kind of jazz. So now I think if they're going to have another fight, it's got to be over a title. And in order for that to happen, like I said, your new AEW International Champion, it's going to be Kenny Omega. And he better look out for Kyle Fletcher.
You know, I look up and down this card, and there's a lot of excellent matches throughout the night. Man, when you think about matches like Ospreay versus Fletcher, like, you look at that on paper, how could that not be the match of the night? I tell you why, because I reckon one match is going to surpass it, and that is none other than Takeshita versus Kenny Omega for the International Championship, man. Like, that's big. This is two of the very best in the game. When they've wrestled before, it's been excellent. Like, when they wrestled before, it's been like amongst the very best matches of the night. And I don't think this is gonna be any difference here. But like, yeah, it's funny because when people debut, they're the shiny new thing, but also when they return, they're the shiny new thing as well. And I say like the same logic applies, that Tony Khan likes to stick some gold on the shiny new thing, man. And yeah, it might seem a bit rug pully for Takeshita to lose his title at this stage. It doesn't matter, man. You know, he's got more. So, like, I would say he can take the L. I would say Kenny Omega, what's at your new international championship? Unless, of course, it gets messed up by some nefarious DQ, means or whatever. But if not, yeah, I'm going to go Kenny Omega for the win, your new international champion.
Another really cool match and a rivalry that I'm really happy has happened. All of the doubters for Ricochet, man, just been proven wrong. It's glorious. He's not only great in the ring, all of the people are like, he's just a flip merchant who can't tell a story and who's not good on the mic. Boy, has he proven people wrong. It's great to see. He is a top guy again. And I'm really, really happy with what AEW have done with him. And I'm really happy with how well him and Swerve have worked together. But, it is that time for Swerve to come good again. Ricochet's kind of had his number. He's beaten him with the low blow. He's been messing with Nana. There is that little part of me. There is that tiny little part of me that thinks maybe Prince Nana betrays Swerve here and then sides with Ricochet. And that was the hint where Ricochet said, don't worry about what's happening with your robe. Ooh, have I just talked myself into a new thinking here? I'm not going to be that ballsy. But you heard it here first. That could be the Swerve that Nana goes and joins with Ricochet. I could very easily see that happening. Be that as it may, Ricochet needs to, Doing one of my pause moments here. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. I was going to say that Swerve goes into this and gets the long... do you know what? I'm sticking with that. You heard a bold prediction here first. I'm not going to go with it, but it's a bold prediction that I want to put out there, is that Nana turns on Swerve and sides with Ricochet, and that's where his embassy robe is. But I'm going to go with Swerve finally gets his victory over Ricochet, which is now long overdue. So yeah, Swerve Strickland to win this one. But you heard the prediction. The bold prediction.
I'm glad Ricochet is getting noticed. I need to watch the product more often to get to realize, yeah, but I'm glad he's getting noticed. Too bad Strickland's around, because Strickland's so damn good. One of the best champions of last year, but ain't got a belt no more. Got to fight to get his way back for the belt, and this is a step. Number one contenders. Yeah, I see Swerve winning this. Go get your belt, bruh.
So lately added to the PLE was, as we only found out on Dynamite on Wednesday, was that it's Ricochet versus Swerve Strickland for the number one contenders match to the number one contenders match for the AEW World Championship. So whoever wins that match goes on to face either Adam Copeland or Jon Moxley at whatever given time. Not much to deliberate on here. Obviously, Ricochet has been getting away with a lot of things. He's even stole Prince Nana's robe. It would be kind of interesting if he kind of got one over on Swerve and continued to hold on to that robe and then maybe go on to win like a singles title or something. But because obviously he deserves that establishment. Obviously, if you're a fan of Ricochet or King Puma in other divisions, he's obviously added a lot to his craft. So it wouldn't surprise me if he won. But in terms of predictions, because I want this guy to get back into the title game, and so for that reason, your winner of this match and number one contender to the AEW World title will be Swerve When I Drive, because it's Swerve Strickland winning the match.
Full disclosure, I had to go back and record this one because I hadn't seen Dynamite yet. But on seeing Dynamite, I'm convinced that Swerve is gonna walk away with the win when he meets Ricochet. Because man, one, I have forgot that Ricochet actually got his win back. So they're a win apiece right now, isn't it? So and to be honest, it actually makes more sense that Swerve went to number one contendership, because Swerve versus Jon Moxley, yeah, and the Death Riders, yeah, that pretty much seems a lot more logical than Ricochet doing it, because obviously we've got two very dangerous combustible elements in Jon Moxley and Swerve Strickland. It'd be great to see them go against each other. Hell, you never know, innit? Swerve might actually get his title back that way, but that is definitely where they're going next. So Swerve is going to walk out with the win.
Fun fact, that's John Cena, not Ricochet. He's the one who came up with that stuff. Go check your old school Doctor of Thugonomics. Was there all the time. Look, with the highest respect to Ricochet, no. This is Swerve. I think if we're going to look at someone who's going to show whose house it is, it's going to be Swerve. If we're talking title contentions, this is the guy. This is the guy that's going to go for it. Ricochet's good. Some would say he's in the best of his career. But no, let's see the mid card. Let's see the rise. Not that Swerve done it, but yeah, you're good, and you're not. And also, if I'm sticking with my main event prediction, then we got heel on heel. So yeah, whose house? Swerve's house. Number one contender.
I almost said the name, introduce who it is, even though AJ's explained it, introduced who it was, and probably if I'm not first, everyone has already said it. But I'm going to stick with Moxley because it's Moxley. And you got the Copeland. It's no longer Adam, just Copeland. But yeah, I'm going to go with Moxley to take this anyway, because he's brutal and it just, if he's taking over, let him take over. All right, but I keep trying to change my mind, so I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna say John Moxley winning, and I'm very tired. Sorry for this in the talk, but yeah, bam, you know who I'm picking.
This is another one of those situations where, again, it's a hard match to call. Anyone could walk away with the title, but I don't know if Edge has done enough. I said Edge. I don't know Adam Copeland, the Cope. I don't know if he's done enough to win the world title. But then again, he might have. But that omen, whoever gets that last hit or whoever gets like the upper hand always ends up losing on the pay-per-view. Whoever holds the title up or, like I said, gets that last blow, they end up losing the pay-per-view. It's only very few times that someone gets the upper hand and still goes on to win at the PLE. Now, that being said, I'm trying to figure out where this whole Death Riders thing is going, because personally, it's kind of boring me now. I thought they would have come to some climate by now, but they haven't. It's just been dragging on and dragging on and dragging on. And the AEW World Championship is a beautiful title. Why is it being kept in a bloody briefcase? You don't need money in the bank. You don't need to cash anything in. You are the champion. Showcase the title. Even Stone Cold used to walk with the title. Whether he used to drag it on the floor or wherever, or throw it into the ring before he even got in the ring himself, you still saw the title. And he did that with the Attitude Era title as well. The AEW title is a beautiful title, and for months now, it's just been kept in a briefcase, and I'm kind of sick and tired of it now. And maybe for that reason, we need a new champion. Even if it is Adam Copeland, even if it's for a short period of time, you will see the title, the prestigious title, over his shoulder or around his waist. Whereas Moxley retains and it's just kept in a briefcase again. How long is it going to be kept in this briefcase? And like I said, this whole Death Riders thing is boring me now. I don't know where they're going with it. By now, I thought something would have happened by now. And the way it's going, it just seems like it's going to be another one of them stories where someone comes in and it was them all along and it just goes nowhere sort of thing. But like I said, it's just kind of boring me now. But I'm just stuck between whether Cope has done enough or if we're going to get another stage of Moxley and the Death Riders. Like, is this going to be... Does it have to be Edge? I said it again. Does it have to be the Rated R Superstar then? Cope, that has to take that annihilation in order for things to be acknowledged? I really don't know. Like I said, this is a really hard match to call. Oh my God. See, and I'm just thinking about it now and I'm second guessing myself. I don't think Cope has done enough, although if he does win, I'd be happy. At the same time, here's another angle, he could just win by the scrape of his teeth, and then someone cashes in their contract. Mr. Patriarchy, Mr. Father of the Decade, Mr. Father of the Millennium. That could happen as well. But I'm wondering, could he be saving that for AEW's grander stage? So many elements that could happen here. But I am going to play a safe bet and say Mox retains. As much as it's really boring and he could do everything that he's doing without the title, it's going to still drag on until it comes to some... I don't know what it's going to come to. But I'm going on too long now, 3 minutes. So you know what? I'm just going to stick with John Moxley to retain the AEW World Championship in a briefcase, hidden for another 7 months.
So, our main event, man. I feel this is going to be like a very good match, It's going to be a lot of blood in it. Yeah, it's going to be very violent, as they like to make the whole Death Rider matches and all that, and especially Adam Copeland's matches as well. But as good as this is, like, I really had to talk that long, to be honest. Like, John Moxley's going to retain, isn't it? It make no sense for him to lose the title here. Although I suppose you could do a couple of things. You could actually make Moxley lose it, and then as Copeland celebrating, he gets cashed in on by Christian Cage with his contract, and they do that whole thing again. But that's been done. It's just straight up here. I feel like Copeland's gonna have a valiant victory, and there might be some nefarious means involved, but he ain't gonna get the win here. John Moxley retains his title. John Moxley for the win.
You know what, pretty tough one. Instinctively, I'd want to say Moxley for the win. I just don't know if it's Cope's time. I know like there was the rumour of Darby Allin, but Cope has been doing every kind of step along the way that kind of shows championship material. He's knocked everybody down, but also in the law of wrestling, that is normally against you, right? So I'm going to stick with my initial thought, even though I know TK can be that guy. Yeah, Death Riders to retain, John Moxley to still be a champ.
The dream scenario booking would be Copeland wins, everyone is in a pure elation because, hey, the good guys won the gold, and we can also mean that this god-awful Death Riders storyline can now finally end. And then just as he's celebrating, Christian Cage comes in, cashes in on him, and Christian Cage is your new world champion. That's my dream scenario. That is not happening because I still believe Darby Allin's going to be the one that dethrones Moxley. I still think that once Darby Allin dethrones Moxley, Christian Cage cashes in on him in the same capacity, like kind of same night type thing. But I sadly don't think the Death Riders storyline is ending yet, even though it should. This really is one of those stories where, like, I think old TK needs to read the room a bit better on this one. Yes, they've got plans. Yes, they have an angle that they want to do with the Death Riders, clearly. But it hasn't worked with the fans, man, and you've got to listen at that point, or you start falling into the old Vince territory where you just stick to your guns no matter what, despite the fans' best interests. And that seems to be the way they're going with this Death Rider scenario, and it kind of sucks. Because AEW has been putting on some pretty damn good matches, as they always do. It's just the main event picture is dead. But yeah, unfortunately, I think Moxley's retaining here. C'est la vie.